Hey guys, welcome back. Just got done with part one. Be sure to check that out if you didn't by using the link in the top. You should see a part one. Um, or you can, if you're using the playlist, go ahead and check that one out. It kind of described the first few buttons down here for your services, some of the services, the roads, the zoning, etc. Um, just kind of trying to go through and explain what each one does and what the add-ons are for each of the buildings. And like I said, so far I got the road, zone, electric, water, sewage, government building, and the waste disposal. This one I'm going to go through and try to get the remaining ones here for you, and just a little more detailed for you. So again, if you have any questions or I put out some wrong information, feel free to just leave it in the comments below. I'll try to fix it um, and get it corrected. This is basically based off of me playing. I've been playing since release with the bugs and all. I've been playing, so I think I've got a pretty good idea of how everything works, but I still make my mistakes. So, alright, so on with it. We're going to go ahead and we'll look at the fire departments here. You have two different types of fire departments. You've got your regular fire station, and you have a large fire station. Um, the large, again, some of the additional buildings you'll see are only opened up once you lay down the additions for your city hall. So make sure in the first video I kind of explain what the city hall did. So make sure you check that out in case you're not quite sure of it. So, all right. Fire station, it's a simple, you drop it down. I'll go ahead and plop the big one down as well, just so it's there. But we'll start on the small one. You plop it down. It comes with one fire truck. It's pretty basic. You click the edit button. The first thing you always want to do when you lay either of them down, is you've got your add-ons here. The one that you want to drop down is the third one, the fire alarm. What that does is your fire trucks basically respond quicker. You won't have a building burning for an hour before the fire trucks decide they're going to go out to it. It will immediately alert them. So you always want to use that, and that gets plopped right on the top of the building. You can actually put it on top of the garage as well. Excuse me. And so it just increases the response time. You then have your sign, and you have a flagpole. Both of them are just purely cosmetic, but if you're into that, you can lay them down. It is something, like myself, I kind of like doing some of that stuff on some of my cities, so I went ahead and put it down. Um, Again, you got your garage here. It just adds an additional fire truck to your garage. So how it's supposed to function is you got one fire, one truck will go to it, and you get another fire, the other truck will go to it. Right now it's currently bugged out, and these trucks will like to play follow the leader and then run back to the station. There can be 3 dozen fires going, and they will all go to one fire and simply sit there. So it's supposed to be fixed in the upcoming patch. We shall see. And then you've got your large fire station here. This is the big dog. This is the one you're trying to get. It's got a lot of additions. You got to use the university to get some of the add-ons with it in the region. It doesn't have to be in the city, but as long as it is in the region somewhere, which I'll get into later with the educational. But this one can have fire trucks, hazmat, a helicopter, and a fire marshal. Again, you go in and you've got your fire pole, you've got your sign, and then your third one is the dispatch tower. That again, it helps your fire trucks go out quicker. So you always want to try to lay that down. As long as you've got the money, lay it down. It's a good investment to have. So, and then your first one here, you can have a total of 4. Your basic fire truck. They're supposed to be a little bit better than the other ones. Whether it does or not, different story. These basically go right alongside. You can lay them across the road, or if you have another road that's kind of going along, you can lay it across there. Ooh, excuse me. Your fire marshal, what the marshal does is when you lay that down, he will go out and he will patrol the city. He'll stop at different commercial buildings, industrial, and residential buildings, and he basically talks with them. Yay! And teaches them how to not start fires. Uh, that is his job. He doesn't put out fires. He just helps to kind of keep them from starting fires. Any building that he visits as well um, will not start on fire for a set amount of time. At least that's what it says. Whether that function actually works or not, different story. I couldn't tell you. I haven't had a chance to really test it out. So, all right. Now on to the next one, the hazmat garage. This is for industrial. If you're in a regular commercial or a residential, you don't really need to worry about it unless you're going to share it regionally. Um, but what it does is it works for the industrial, especially high-tech type fires. You'll see the green fires in industrial areas and high-tech especially. You need a hazmat for that because the normal fire trucks aren't able to put them fires out. If you don't put the hazmat fires out, you'll get a big boom and shit will start exploding on you. It's actually kind of cool to watch, but you know, if you're really into the sim, you don't want to do it. So that is what that's for. And each of these so far you can have four of: the hazmat, the fire marshal, the fire truck, and you can volunteer any of these buildings to your surrounding cities as well. So you then have a helipad, which is basically just a helicopter. These can be set, I thought they could be set on the garage, but I guess not. They basically set on the buildings and they'll respond to fires the same way. And they do like the good old days where it's filled with water and they dump the water down. That's what they do. They're just a glorified fire truck in the air. So that is how they function. You can have numerous stations in one city. You almost want to have more than one in a city. It doesn't mean you have to use all large or all the small ones. You can pick and choose. And as you can see, and this goes for all the service trucks, the hospital police, etc. You see that the road is green. What that shows is their area that they'll travel to. They will go outside that, but that's their main travel area that they're kind of patrolling and watching. The fire trucks don't go out. They only leave when there's an actual fire, but that's kind of their coverage area. You can over here, data maps, be sure to check them out. They'll show you kind of like your areas that are prone to fires and etc., etc. So, and that goes, the data maps kind of go for any of the buildings. You want to make sure you're always paying attention to them because they really do give some good details. So, all right, and now on to the hospital. The hospitals, again, they treat the sick ones, not so much the mentally ill, but I could probably use that. But they treat the sick, whether it be from like water pollution or just illness, etc., etc. They have, of course, the coverage area again on the road, which is green. They show you in the when you open it up, it'll show you how many are being treated at the how many can be treated, which right now with a basic is 10. It'll show you how many are actually being treated. You then have a waiting room. It'll show you how many can be waiting and how many are waiting. You do not want your waiting room to max out. I myself, the Sims start to complain when your waiting room even starts getting used. So myself, I wait. Let's say I have 5 patients in the waiting room. Your being treated patients will be full. I have 5 in here. I will go ahead and add on to it, and that's what the edit button does. You have your basic sign, you have your ambulance bay, and you have your patient rooms. I'll start with the sign. The sign's just a sign, just pretty. Your ambulance bay is so you can, of course, have more ambulances. If you've got more than one person who's got an injury and can't get to the hospital, you need more than one ambulance. It just gets them there, keeps them from dying. And them again, they just flop down along the road edge as needed, and you can place a total of 4 of them. So you'll have a total, I believe, of 5 when it's said and done. Your patient rooms can be placed alongside the building itself, and once they're laid down, as you can see, well, it should have went up, but it adds 15 extra rooms. So your waiting capacity and your treatment capacity will both go up, so you're allowed to treat more Sims. And these buildings don't stack on top of each other. They, in fact, actually stack in a line. You can use both sides of the building and kind of place them where you like, but they do stack in a line, so you can kind of watch that as you are placing the buildings for future buildings you want to place down as well. So you kind of watch that. And then down in the corner here, it'll show you how many deaths per day. If you're getting actually up in deaths per day, and this is not a green number but a red, you need to add either more waiting rooms or also ambulances, because they're not basically getting to them in time, so they're dying. That takes care of the small one. You've then got your big hospital, treats a whole lot more, comes with 4 ambulances right off the bat. And as you've seen, I think you've seen the price when I dropped them, $20,000 for the small, $120 for the big. You got 50 that can be treated, and a total of 40 that can be in the waiting room. So it's a bigger amount. It's nice for the big cities, so you want to kind of watch that. This comes with ambulances and wellness vans. Click the edit button, and you got a whole bunch of different things kind of plop down. Some of these require you to have a university and to do a research project. Again, that's pertains to the region itself. As long as it's been researched in the region, you'll be able to place them down. So left to right, you've got your basic hospital sign. You then have your ambulance bay, and what this does is it adds 2 ambulances to your arsenal. So 1 bay equals 2 ambulance, and that's just, again, just to get out and get them. Your wellness center, that gets plopped down on the road around the city, or around the hospital. Again, if you have a road that's kind of going side by side, you can plop it down next to that as well. And what that does is the wellness center, the wellness van goes out, visits residents, and helps them clean up their house, and basically helps get rid of germs and illness and whatnot. Just kind of preventive care. You then have your patient waiting rooms. Now, what is there we go. I was going to say, what is nice about this one? These can be stacked on the top of the building. They don't have to be done around the outside. It is, in my personal preference, best to stack them up, because you want to save the outside area for your other building ploppable add-ons. God, I love that word, ploppables. You want to but place it on top, and they'll stack up. I'll go ahead and well, where do you know? I flopped it down. Alright, there we go. But they stack up like that. If you notice you've got an overabundance of capacity, you can go in, you don't have to demolish each one. You go into this view here, you click on the additional add-on that you put down, and you click this button right here, and it basically shuts that add-on off. It doesn't destroy it, it just shuts it off, so you're not wasting the money. And when you need to turn it back on, open it back up, and boom, you're good to go. You can start using whatever the function is again. You then have the emergency center. What that does is Sims that are out in the city, if they can't get to the hospital as quick because of traffic or because they need an ambulance, ambulances are busy, it increases the time until they actually die. And that again just gets put down and around the building, and it just increases the time. You then have the diagnostics lab. This requires the university. What it does is your Sims get healed quicker. When they go to the hospital here, you won't get such a pile up, and it won't take as long for the Sims to be treated. So they'll get in, they'll get treated, and they'll get out and make room for the next Sims to come in. So it just kind of it helps increase that. And the surgical center does exactly the same thing as the first. So I'm not quite sure why they have it, unless it's just for a cosmetic reason. As far as I know, heal twice as fast. Oh, injured Sims. Nope. No, no. Okay. So the diagnostic is for sickness, which you can see down here: sick treated per day and injured treated per day. So one does the injuries, like someone's got a broken arm. That would treat. That would be what the surgical center would help increase the recovery time for, and the diagnostics. They're puking because they got drunk as shit the night before, and so they got a little alcohol poisoning going. It'll help increase that. So the speed on that. So that is your hospital. Um, Fairly straightforward. And of course, like you just seen here, you'll get messages if you've got issues with any of these, whether it be fire, police, health, schooling. It will pop up and actually give you messages, and you can kind of go in and adjust the things you need to for them. The next one, police. You get a bunch with this depending if you bought the DLC package. I was one of the sorry saps that pre-ordered the limited edition, and so I paid the $80, got the extras, which I don't even use. So if you don't have it, you're not missing out on anything. In all honesty, they're they're not really worth it in my opinion, at least as is. So I'll go into the basics, and well, here I'll start off. The two that, or the three that come with it is the Maxis Manor, the Voodoo Tower, and the French Police Station. Easiest, the French Police Station is just cosmetic. It does exactly the same thing as the normal police station. It just cosmetically looks different. It's supposed to make surrounding buildings kind of have that French ooh la la kind of look to them. Doesn't seem to work. Some people have said it does, some don't. Maxis Manor gives you Maxis Man. He's supposed to go out and help fight crime, heal injured Sims, all that good junk. It's expensive. You have to manually send him out to get him to heal or to arrest, and you can't control where he goes. When he goes out, sometimes he'll stay in your city, and other times he'll leave the city and go someplace else. You get reward points when you send him out and he actually completes something, and then you get additions for him. But everything's manually done with him. So it's not that big of a thing, at least in my opinion. The Voodoo Tower is Maxis Man's arch villain, Nemesis. He is the evil doer. Maxis Man is the good man. The Voodoo Tower you'll put up, and as you can see, it increases the tech level, so you want that kind of in an industrial type city. You can get him to bring in tourists as well, but you're going to end up having some crime issues with having a Voodoo Tower in your town. So just remember, Maxis is for good, Voodoo is for bad, so you kind of play that down. Again, them are part of the DLC package and nothing major. You're not missing too much. So the first two buildings, the ones you're mainly going to see, your police station and your police precinct. Precinct is done, again, by the addition of your a city hall module. So it'll be there, just maybe locked. So you've got your police station here. It'll show you how many jail cells you have, how many people are in the jail, the arrests per day, the criminals that are being rehabilitated, and the criminals being released early. Arrests are as simple as that. It's how many they've arrested. The rehabilitated are how many have come in, been rehabilitated, and then sent back on home. Your released early is if your jail is overfilling. Like right now, I've got 10 jail cells. If I get 11, one of my inmates are going to get released early, and they're still going to be a criminal, and they're going to go out and break the law. They're going to be a dumbass. So they're going to go rob somebody. They're going to go shoplift, all that good junk. So you want to make sure you have enough jail cells so you're not getting that. Otherwise, especially in commercial type settings, they complain. They don't like any kind of crime. And down to here, you can see you've got how many criminals or how many crimes are being committed. The criminals, the arrests, you get all that good junk, and then you've got your data maps over here as well. So your edit, this one doesn't have a add-on to respond quicker. You've got your flags, you've got your signs, again, cosmetic, then you have your police car lots. And the small depot, each lot adds 2 police cars. Um, and as you get more crime in the city, you're going to have to add more car lots. You've got your jail cells, you have 2 different. You've got your ground floor and you've got your top floor. The ground floor basically gets put just around the building. It can't be connected off on a separate road. It's got to be connected to the police building itself. The jail cell top floor goes on top of the ground floor one, or it can actually go on top of the jail itself. You can only stack one up. After that, you have to actually put it on the ground around the building on top of the ground floor jail cells. That covers your basic small police. Again, the green is patrolling. I guess I'll show you the one data map here, the crime map. As you have police, you'll notice up here this orangish yellow. That means there's a lot of crime going on. Eventually, when you've got enough police and they're patrolling the area, these areas will turn a bluish color. Like you can see here, they'll turn blue. That means you've got good coverage. They patrol the area and crime isn't going to happen there. Crime is more apt to happen in areas where you've got the orange, red going on. And then you've got your different icons for things that have happened crime-wise. Again, I'll get into that when I kind of get a video out for the data maps. So you got your police precinct. This one is done basically the same way, except for this one starts out with 4 police cars. The small starts out with 2. You can get a police helicopter, detective car, and crime prevention vans. You also get 50 jail cells to start with. The arrests, rehabilitation, and released early are the same, function the same way. You go into edit, you've got a sign, and this one does have a dispatch tower. Again, this helps to get your police out a little bit quicker. It kind of sees the crimes a little bit faster, blah blah blah. So if you have the money right offhand, go ahead and use that. That gets put on top of the building. You can also put that on top of the jail cells. And there's a trick that I like with the jail cells, and I'll show you that here too. But first, the car lots, these come with 60, and the patrol wait is 30 minutes. Basically means they will go out and patrol the area every 30 minutes versus the small one that does it every 60 minutes. It lowers the crime rate a fairly good amount. So you got your jail cells, you got your bottom floor, and you've got your top floor. What's really nice about this one, the top floor can actually be placed up here on top of the building. You put it down, and you can keep stacking these up, or you can place them around the side. And what that does is it saves space for the remaining buildings that you want to put up. And after you're done with putting them up, what I usually do, if I've got enough money, I'll put all 4 of them up, and then I simply go in and I close them up, so I'm not wasting money until I actually need them. And I do that for the reason because the helipad here can actually be placed right up on top as well. So it's another space-saving kind of thing that you want to use if you've got the money to do it right away. If not, try to save up until you can and plop that up on the top. Just like the dispatch tower can be put right on top of the jail cell. So it saves space. You're not putting it around the outside. You can only have a total of 4 of these buildings, whether it be the jail cells, the prevention center, or the detective wing. You can only have a total of 4. So sometimes in bigger cities, what I do is I'll have one police precinct with my jails, and the other one I have with my detective wing and prevention center. To get the detective wing, it requires you to have a university and to do a research project as well. So again, university dependent. So your crime prevention center, what that does is it will go out and talk to your Sims, whether commercial or residential, etc., and it will keep them from committing crimes. Proactive, like it says, a very good thing to have. It does cost a little bit, but especially in commercial areas, it keeps them really happy by keeping the crime rates down. Your detective wing, what that does is your police only respond to crimes when they're being committed. So you'll still have criminals in the city, but they can't arrest them for anything because they're not after them. What your detective does is they'll go to their home and they'll sit and watch them, and they can arrest them while they're in home, bring them to jail as long as they are a criminal. Uh, and it, again, lowers your crime rate down, which is what you want to do. So, um, again, like I said, my trick is as one building, one precinct is for my jail cells. The other one I use for the the detective wing and the prevention center. So, all right. That one kind of ran a little bit long, so that was the fire, the health, and the police. I think I'm going to go ahead and cut this one out. This will be part 2, and I'll go ahead and get part 3. Go ahead and just click the link at the top, or again, if you're in the playlist, you can just use the next button, and it'll take you to part 3, and that one will cover the remaining services, utilities, buttons, however you want to put it. Kind of go a little bit more into detail about them as well. If you notice anything again that I may have been incorrect about, please be sure to put it in the comments. Again, I'll try to correct it, get it figured out for you. Or if you have any questions, again, go ahead and ask. I'll do what I can to find the answers for you. Hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you go ahead and you check out part 1 and the upcoming part 3. So be sure to sub if you liked it. Do the little like thing down there. It helps. Your comments, you know. All right. And now on to part 3.